Okay, let's rock and roll.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We are live on Facebook tonight.
There's a bit of an echo going on. I can hear you, but there's an echo.
I think I got it. I was logged in on my phone, and we've been doing all sorts of technical difficulties tonight, so I think we got it under control now. Tonight, we're going to talk about creating personal initiative. The major attributes of personal initiative fact that personal initiative creates responsibility and opportunity. So one of the biggest benefits from going the extra mile is the emphasis it requires to place on personal initiative. So when we go the extra mile, it's because of our personal initiative that we're actually going the extra mile. And we're going to round out our understanding of personal initiative. And through example, it will show us how to multiply that quality in ourselves. Without that personal initiative, we're not going to be able to go that extra mile. Andrew Carnegie once said that there are two types of people who never amount to anything. These are those who never do anything except what they are told to do. And there are those who cannot even do what they are told to do. The people who get ahead do the things as your goal. It will bring you advancement, attention, and opportunity. One of the things I was thinking about with personal initiative is that it takes a certain inside ability to be able to press forward and to go can't do or won't do. That personal initiative that causes personal initiative inside of yourself causes you to push forward. So in the years that he spent formulating these principles of success, he observed many extraordinary people. And there was a list of qualities that constantly appeared in his observations. Some of them will be on things that have already been covered in this book, and others come later. The important thing for us to do here is to identify these characteristics in ourselves as we are now, and to think about how you can increase and strengthen them. So the major attributes of a personal initiative. Do you have a definite major purpose? What is your definite major purpose? And then the motivation to act continuously in pursuit of that purpose. A mastermind alliance to acquire the power to attain that purpose. Self-reliance, self-discipline, persistence based upon the will to win. Well-developed imagination, controlled and directed. The habit of prompt, definite decision-making. The habit of basing opinions on known facts, not guesswork. The habit of going the extra mile. The capacity to generate enthusiasm at will and control it. A well-developed sense of details. The capacity to listen to criticism without resentment. Familiarity with the 10 basic human motives. The capacity to concentrate attention on one task at a time. Now remember, we're talking about major attributes of personal initiative. There's a lot of them here. Assuming full responsibility for one's own actions. Willingness to accept full responsibility for the mistakes of subordinates. Patience with subordinates and associates. Recognizing the merits and abilities of others. A positive mental attitude at all times. The capacity for applied faith. The habit of follow-through. The habit of emphasizing thoroughness instead of speed. And then, last but not least, dependability. So having these attributes of personal initiative, there's quite a bit. You read through them and they're like, wow, that's a lot, and that sounds like a good leader there. So it's something that you got to dig deep for. It's not something that everybody has. I mean, if everybody had this personal initiative, then there wouldn't be employees, I guess. So what we're trying to create here is a group of people that can embrace the laws of success and utilize those laws of success in your life to be able to embrace everything that you can be. Your personal initiative starts with inside of you, and then you take it from there and push forward and push past those difficult moments. The personal initiative is contagious. When people see me pushing forward, it creates, I don't know, it's like they want to compete with me. I know my brother, he sees me working really hard, and he sees me to enjoy time with my kids, and he sees that stuff. So I've noticed within him that he has stepped up his game. So it's contagious, that personal initiative. During the Second World War, Henry Kaiser astounded the world by the speed and efficiency of his shipbuilding. What made his achievement so remarkable is that he hadn't been a shipbuilder before he responded to the needs of the war. The quality that made this possible was his personal initiative, and the most obvious manifestation of this quality was his habit of following through. When Kaiser ordered a trainload of steel to be delivered at his shipyards on a given date, he made sure that the railroad was alerted, that his own workers were prepared to accept the shipment, and first of all, that the steel was being produced on schedule. He sent an expediter to the steel mill to keep him informed of progress, and then to travel with the shipment to see that it wasn't sidetracked or delayed. Because Kaiser was so attentive to the details of his operation, everyone who worked for him knew that the same quality was expected of themselves. If something went wrong along the way, the expediter was expected to do whatever was necessary to correct the problem and make up for lost time, and he seldom failed. Kaiser's persistent personal initiative was an example to thousands of people on a daily basis. So I wanted to ask the panelists on our call tonight, have you guys had any experience of personal initiative in your life that has caused others to take notice and step up their game? So I think people are stuck on mute. So unfortunately, our other panelists aren't going to be able to join us tonight. Oh, there's Andre.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt, to be on the spot like that. And it's not very, that's a personal initiative you take tonight to go on the speaker, to be the
Personal
speaker of
initiative will
the
succeed
call.
when others fail.
Truly appreciate it. Yeah.
Are you with us, Andre?
Yes, I am. Do you heard me? You don't heard me, Matt? Jesus
Can't
Christ.
hear you.
You can hear
So not
me.
long after our author married, he paid his first visit to the wife's family. The train took him close to her hometown, but stopped 2 miles away. Since he arrived in a downpour, by the time he reached his in-laws' house, it was not an impressive sight. He was also in something of a bad temper, and he exclaimed, "Why don't you have the railroad build a line into town?" My brother-in-law laughed and told me that they had been trying for 10 years, but that the railroad was unwilling to take the expense of building a bridge across the local river. And Ashley says she can hear Andre. So Andre, feel free to speak. I think Ashley can hear you. So anyway, his brother-in-law laughed and told him that they had been trying for 10 years, but that the railroad was unwilling to take the expense of building a bridge across the local river. 10 years, he said arrogantly. Why, I could do that job in 3 months. Well, I had really put my foot in it, for a boast like that in front of my new family was a challenge to them. He knew he had to act. He knew he had to act. His brother-in-laws and him waited for the rain to stop, then headed down to the river. There they saw a creaky old wooden bridge across which ran the country road. A freight railroad terminated at the far side of the river, its tracks crossing the road. As the freight trains came and went, they hailed traffic on the road, slowing travel for all the local people. And there was his idea. Look, he said, it's simple. The passenger railroad pays for a third of the cost of a bridge so that it can offer better service to the town. And then the county pays for it. We'll need to replace that wooden one soon anyway. And the freight railroad pays the final third, so it gets the traffic off its tracks and prevents the inevitable accident from having all those people lined up waiting to cross. It was that simple. In a week, his brother-in-law and
Well, gentlemen and ladies, we experiment some difficulties, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah,
What were
it's
you?
tough.
What were you saying, Andre? Earlier,
can
I think
you
you were
guys
saying something.
hear
I
me?
say Matt, he got some problem with his his
Oh,
ordinator.
Hey, Matthew, can you hear me? Andre, can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
Okay, I can hear you as well. I think Matthew maybe can't hear us.
Yeah, I think the problem with Matt is that he originally had two accounts signed in, and then I ended up shutting one of the accounts off because it was causing an echo. And I think that was maybe how he was going to get his audio.
Okay.
So I
So
think
it's
he's figuring
a
it out.
tough night, but we're gonna succeed. So we are talking about personal initiative, huh?
Yes.
So I don't know in your life, but I have to take a lot when I was younger, especially at my job. I got a kind of job I need to take it because it was a teamwork. I was a security officer in the big place who they make plane in Montreal. So when an emergency arrive, you have to take personal initiative and give the kind of order to resolve a problem very fast. And if you take the wrong decision, sometimes the problem get bigger, but you take a decision. So it's that kind of stuff I learn. But when I start to studying the law of success, personal initiative in your personal business and your personal money and that kind of stuff, it helped me a lot to understand to make a good move for the long term. You know, a long term good move, it's always good to make that because it's payable in the long term. You're gonna have result each for a long time, and when you start to do that, people around you start to change because you take your personal initiative very deeply. It's very emotional, that kind of stuff. So if you stick on it, you're gonna attract that kind of people you try to believe to begin to be, and you're gonna have people around you to push you to achieve your goal, and that's very important to understand that. It take a little bit of time, but when you start to doing it, personal initiative in many way and many stuff, we got it, but we don't see it. After that, when you start to see it and you apply it in something new, it's very great. It's very great, and that book teaches us that very good. So Thank you. And if you got something to share, I'm gonna listen with good ear.
Yes, I think that going back to that question of when has my personal initiative, how I've seen that maybe impact of inspire others, or that's at least what I'm kind of reading that question as. And it's interesting because when I look at my life and moments when maybe I feel that I'm up against a challenge or in a kind of a valley in terms of feeling like I can move forward towards a goal, I often look to, I guess, different resources I have. And what's really great is when I do turn to different resources, whether it's a book or maybe I connect with a group of people who are also motivated to achieve various goals. Or maybe I'll go to a conference or I'll go, it's all comes in perfect time because what I can do is I can gather some of the motivation or techniques or tools that I learned from others and then take that back into my life. And while I look at that as personal initiative because I could just sit there and kind of, not do anything about things. But, when I connect and reach out and go to these research, I can take it back into my life or my job, my workplace, my business, whatever it might be, and implement those things and, continue forward in my goals. And so the people around me then get to also experience myself, still consistently going after my goals. And so it's like I know currently at my workplace, I guess it could be challenging for people to deal with maybe some of things that do show up, but then to be personally responsible about maybe how I want to take a look at a project differently, or maybe give a new viewpoint about maybe a struggle at work. That really gives an opportunity to help a fellow coworker or even a business partner be like, oh, you know what, that is another way to take a look at this problem and let's move forward. So I think that most of the battle is just showing up, whether it's showing up to this call or showing up in life, to really be able to be to receive maybe some kind of inspiration or tool or strategy, and then take it back to implement and share with other people who might not be doing these same things or taking on the law of success or whatever it might be. So definitely feel that personal initiative is important aspect of that as we impact the networks around us.
And that's very true, Miss. That's very true. Because when I start that, I start to wrote a lot concerning personal initiative, what I do good and what I have to work on it. And the result of that was I see my mistake and I see where I have to work a lot to get a better understanding when people talk, and a better way to talk to them after when I listen correctly to them to resolve the problem, the common problem we got, you know. And it takes a little bit of time to get a good active listening without thinking right away to the answer, and listen to everybody when you are in a team, because each answer is good and people sometimes are so afraid or ashamed to really tell what they got in mind because I don't know what, but when I provoke the confidence in a meeting to people have to share what they think and to resolve a problem in many ways. That's personally initiative I take, and it was good for everybody, and that's what the law of success teach me to do, to find a good answer for a problem we have to resolve. And sometimes the answer come from somebody you don't expect, but he got the answer. So that's a kind of a personal initiative way to resolve problem I like a lot. And it takes a little bit of time, but it's possible to do it in many ways. And it's the same in the family. Sometimes you have to listen very carefully what your kid have to said, and which and understand which emotion they are in when they say it. Take the time to resolve a little problem. Sometimes if you don't resolve the little problem, maybe you're gonna have a big problem in 2 3 years. So for that, it was very nice to understand that kind of stuff, because I was not raised to listen like that and to act uh, with personal initiative in the long way and the short way of life. It was something else I was in, and it was a good way to change my mind.
That's wonderful, Andre. I think that, hearing you speak about that, and I think that's really part of being a leader. And leadership is be able to create those spaces and opportunities for others to contribute. Because I hear you. I think that it is scary sometimes for people to feel that they can maybe give input. I think that goes back to one of the what is it, six biggest fears, like fear of
Six
criticism.
biggest fear, yeah.
Yeah, I think that in a world where it seems that our opinions don't matter,
Yeah, yeah, that's
or-
true.
yeah, and to create a place where your team or your family, can feel like they're being listened to and that they can contribute something that could make a difference, or move a project forward, or influence a situation. I think that's a sign of really great leadership too.
Well, many times it's always related on the budget. The When you're working for the big corporation, they always give you a budget, and the way you want to see it, you don't want to blow it up, or you have to blow it a lot to get a better one the next year. So if you don't take a if you take attention of the people around you and over you, the way they run their show, and you take the personal initiative to go see the big chief and told him that if it is the good way to thinking to blow the budget, or you want me to keep the money. If you don't ask that, you're done. Your history. Me, I do it many times. And he always said to me, Andre, you have to blow it up that year because we need money to do another project next year, and we're going to put it on your budget. And if I don't take the personal initiative to ask him that, I was not making my job correctly. It's very strange. It's very strange because many times in 30 years, they asked me to cut in my budget to do the same job with the same people. And I said, it's impossible. I ain't got that kind of money. I have to run something. And that's the way to provoke the six biggest fear you got in mind, like we talked. I said, Jesus Christ, these people are not there. But it's not for a long time. And you have to take the chance to talk with your big boss, and don't be afraid to ask him what's the matter with you, man, and what the company really want is just cutting, or they want to grow and they want to stay in business for a long time. So I have to explain that to people working with me, and everybody got a family, so let's rock and roll. And it's just in the way you ask it, you know uh, with the good tone of voice. And I ask it, I need an answer fast. I don't need a 3 month answer. I need it like today. Because people working with me, look, we're going to go work somewhere else. And they look at you and said, oh, yeah, my man, that's the way it is. So, taking personal initiative going to give you confidence too, because you blast your fear out. And in the world we live today, is it's not always simple to get another job, but if you are competent, you're gonna have another job, and your big boss know that because he's there. He's the guy who pay you, so you have to do something to be good with you and make this company go, go for a long while. But for my personal project, like I do, because now I'm retired, I make a game for the dyslexia people, and I make a kind of a mini squeegee for recycling the disposable razor. I take a lot of personal initiative, and that gives me more confidence to finish something I start in the good way with the good people around me. And finding the good people around me, it takes time. You have to do a lot of personal initiative to attract the kind of people who are in the same vibration tone, and they want to finish it with you and succeed with you. And that kind of stuff is very new for me. And it's for that I like that call. But tonight we are together and it's okay. I think we're gonna talk about something on the internet to do a good call each time we do one. But yeah, taking personal initiative when I start my own business, it take a lot of time and it take a lot of energy, but good energy to planify it correctly and to don't go too fast, but not too slow too, and stay on the edge always and see it to learn many things I don't know correctly and apply it with faith in the project I got. And that's I hope the law of success gonna do the same for me. It's gonna do for you, miss.
And Andre, that's exciting to hear. How you take personal initiative or how you are doing that in your life, and even in retirement, being able to take action on another project. And what I'm hearing in all this in a personal initiative is really taking action in an area that we're committed to. And I think that, leads back into, making sure we know what our definite chief aim is, but then also having that flexibility to know that, it could show up as a different way or different path. But, as long as we move forward and take the actions moving forward in that. And then even when you were saying like, yeah, this takes some generating of energy to have people that you need to help with your project and generating momentum, that does take a little bit of time. And I think that what is important is the perseverance component, because that is what has us at least not just start something, but see something all the way through to completion. I know I've heard that quote before too. A lot of people might start, or there might be variations of this quote, but a lot of people start, but very few follow through or even finish, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's awesome, to stay committed. And I feel like this kind of group and studying law of success helps bolster the faith and muscle of just continuing and moving forward, has that see it through. And even with initiative too, it's really interesting because I feel like personal initiative sounds like a concept where it's like it's all on us, but as we can tell even with this mastermind, or like you were just saying too, it's important to have people around you. I think part of personal initiative is also knowing when to ask for help, and ask it powerfully. It goes back to exactly what you're saying. Like, you're talking to your boss, you had to reach out to your boss. I know myself too. None of these big goals, especially if they're big enough, can be done on our own. I mean, it only will take us so far on our own, but we really do need to know when to ask for help and not look at asking for help as a weakness, but really as a strength, a skill to develop, to be able to have others get on board with our vision and chief aim, and how to ask it with such an intention where you're right. It's not, it inspires people, or it has other people buy into even our vision for what we're trying to create, and I think that's really important part of personal initiative, recognizing that we aren't on our own. We can't do it on our own. I mean, we can succeed to a certain extent, but to really accomplish things, it takes other people. And that's exactly what we're doing here with our mastermind, two or more gathered, right? It does take a village to create something, and it's important to recognize. And I feel our personal initiative to be able to recognize how much other people can contribute to that.
And that's true. And that's very true. Depending the age you got, me, if I learned the law of success younger in my life, because I was not aware about Napoleon Hill. You know, I'm a French Canadian, so where the generation I am in, we don't they don't teach us that. They teach something else, but that, not Napoleon Hill, the 16 law of success and think and grow rich and all that stuff. Who I see a lot of good opportunity to finish correctly my life. That's what I like to be in that mastermind. And that mastermind we are in is it's a good one. It's a very good one because we work a lot to stay connect. And I think it's the first time tonight the the connection on doesn't make good because Facebook doesn't work and Zoom doesn't work. It's okay. It's okay, but we stay connect in many ways. And I find when you are in the mastermind, you get some accountability. I think to be accountable to your partner in your mastermind, they have to do something to show you they are in the program in the 16 law of success. They do something good with their life, because if they don't do that, they go out. They don't stay. Or did they find people who are more in in the law, and they find people to help them faster to grow up. That's what I see in many way in the law of success. And it's very important to don't miss an opportunity when somebody asks you to go on it, because personal initiative, if you don't got the ability to go, it's preferable to go and learn it, you know, because people ask you because they see something sometimes you don't see in you, and it's very good to go on it. It's very, very good. And Mr. Matt is back. Mr. Matt, did you hear me?
I finally figured it out. Yes, I'm back.
You're a great man to come back, my man. And I was talking with Ashley and we got a good conversation.
That's excellent.
Yep.
So do you want me to pick up where I left off? Or are you guys still talking?
Well, I think it's good to you to go in the show, my man.
Well, we talked about creating personal initiative, and that's what we're here talking about tonight. And we talked about the major attributes of personal initiative, and then we talked about how personal initiative is contagious. People see you acting, and they want to act for themselves. Personal initiative succeeds where others fail, and personal initiative creates work. And that's what we're going to start on, is that personal initiative creates work. Now, how would personal initiative create work? That's a great question. I don't understand how personal initiative create work other than being my own business owner, and I can create work and do it. But he once knew a rather plain fellow who didn't seem suited for much. He had been apprenticed to a plumber, but because he showed no real aptitude for plumbing, his boss tried him out as a sales rep. He didn't show an aptitude for there either. Since his handwriting was neat, the boss made him a bookkeeper next. Again, the results were discouraging. But the bookkeeping experience taught him something, the importance of accurate inventory. So he sat down to take an inventory of himself, and he decided that he had these positive qualities: the habit of saving money, the ability to figure accurately the costs of a plumbing job, the ability to recognize superior skills in others that he lacked himself, persistence, the ability to induce others to work in harmony. And what could he do with those skills? And the answer was obvious. He could set out to open his own plumbing business. And he found a location. He sought out the best workers he could find and began to pursue contracts. Within a year, his schedule was full. And because he was able to bring his work in at the projected costs and to do it with quality labor, he quickly gained a reputation as the best plumber for the job, even though he was a poor plumber himself. It was only by acting on personal initiative that this man was able to make anything of his life. Starting with a definite major purpose, step by step, he built a mastermind alliance of skilled employees. He delivered extra service and attained success. If he hadn't struck out on his own, his former boss would have soon thrown up his hands and fired him. This fellow created a job for himself. So I guess I was right. You know, that is the way to do it. Personal initiative creates work. What kind, you know, I know that Hugo, you know, he's got to go out and he's got to get a painting job. You know, he's got to create that work for himself. That work isn't coming to him. He's got to go get it. I know that for me, I just, you know, bought those routes for bathroom cleaning. And now I'm servicing 22 restaurants. And I got to go out and get extra work if I want extra money this month. So I'm hitting up the Red Robins and the other bigger restaurants that I know might take my services, and I'm taking the personal initiative. So you don't have to be your own business owner. Obviously, this guy was a plumber and turned himself into a business owner. So it's something that you can do progressively. You can take that personal initiative and become something. Now, personal initiative also creates opportunity. And he talks about a carpenter's apprentice making just $400 a week when he was hired to build some shelves in a closet. By the time he was finished and saw how grateful his client was to have better use of his space and how happy he was with the quality of his work, Balter had an idea. With money from that first satisfied customer, Balter started the California Closet Company. Now, this incredible transformation of a crowded closet into efficient living space, or efficient space, was such a popular idea that within 12 years, Balter had more than 100 franchises around the country. Now, other entrepreneurs were so impressed with his idea that copycat companies sprang up across the nation, and in 1989, Balter sold his company for $12 million to Williams-Sonoma. Neil Balter could have been content just learning to be a carpenter, but he identified his skills, he set himself a definite goal, and succeeded beyond the wildest dreams of any apprentice. Now that's interesting. We learned in the last little clip about the plumber, how he sat down and he took an inventory of the things that he was good at. And he found that he was good at saving money and figuring the accurate cost of a plumbing job and so on and so forth. And then we find this California Closet Company, and he's harnessing the skills, and he's opening himself up, obviously, a nationwide business. So personal initiative creates the future as well. We're running at 9:39. Does anybody have a thought? Hugo's so good at this.
Yep. Yeah, what you are
I think it's
talking
just
about,
me and
just me and you? Are you sure?
I think so. I think so. I don't know.
Oh, I'm here as well.
I was sure
Oh,
of that.
okay, good.
Share a good thought.
Oh, I think what was interesting from hearing what you said too, related to this, I think I was also struck by the fact that these individual examples that you had mentioned did come from a place of identifying their skills, taking personal inventory. Kind of links back to our last session related to taking a personal inventory of where we were at. And I think it's really important to be able to take a look at your skill sets, you know, strengths, weaknesses, even like what you're curious about in life, and taking all those things to be able to define what a definite chief aim might be and how that could be fulfilled in the world, whether it's, you know, in our businesses and moving, taking action in that, or even just renewing or just getting a sense of, you know, what those skills and, you know, the personal inventory to be able to be like, oh, you know what, these are the types of skills I am good at, and let me take that back into what I'm doing now and either further it in what I'm currently doing or look for other work elsewhere, or, you know, start my own business or do something with those skills. I think there's always an opportunity to be able to expand upon those things that we're good at to be able to really contribute to others.
How have you used personal initiative in your life, Ashley?
I was sharing with
Do you have
Andre.
any personal examples?
Yeah, no, I was sharing with Andre earlier. I think like a big thing for myself is about 2 years ago, be able to start my own, I guess, leap of faith into doing financial planning. So in my day job right now, I do work and do emergency planning for a public health department, but I also do financial services on the side. So
Ooh.
that really is an opportunity for me to, just really contribute to other people in the realm of financial services. And because it's a newer realm for me, I had to really take a look at, okay, who can I get mentorship from? Who can I, learn this newer skill that for myself, I didn't really have those kinds of skill, and just really try something different. I think that was a really big leap of faith for me. And ever since, just kind of moving forward, in various ways related to it, I know even just I had to do various exams to really get the credentials for it. Reach out to product providers and kind of learn, what services and products we do have. Even getting clients. And that's a whole realm for me, learning what it's like to to really take that on and build a book of business. And then knowing along the way too, what it takes to create a team of people who can really help me in achieving this goal of really creating financial independence for other people that I sit with. Because I don't have to know it all as I'm kind of learning these skills and moving forward. I know that I have resources, and kind of creating even just like a list of resources and to turn to be able to help me assist my clients. And it just has me be better for my clients that I serve, and just also the other people I work with in this realm. So
Man, that's very
Yeah,
good.
amazing. I mean, that's what Henry Ford had. Yeah, I was just saying that's what Henry Ford had, a row of buttons on his desk when he needed something. You say you have your resources. When Henry Ford needed something, he pressed a button and the right man would get to his office lickety split. So that sounds like you had a interest in the sector, and there's money to be made there for sure. So personal initiative in learning that is probably the big step right there, huh?
no, it is, because it's not a field that I would have ever thought I'd imagine myself in. And so exactly what you're saying. I'm sort of just like, you know what, I'm going to learn this. I'm going to set, it's kind of like I was looking at my definite chief aim of financial independence. I was like, what realm could I really have a breakthrough in? And it was really around money. I never was really concerned about that aspect before as I was pursuing other pursuits in my life. But I realized that one area I really want to get powerfully related to and empowered around was money. And then I was like, you know what? Let's just figure out this financial services area. And it's been such a interesting ride. I would have never, like, I could tell you, never would have thought I would be in this realm. And I've been surprisingly enjoying it. I, even in my own learning of everything, even with people who are, have been in the field for a while, and I'm still trying to create that mastermind around it. I'm starting to learn how to kind of decipher the complexities of financial services too. There's so much, and it's funny because even after 2 years, and that's not enough, right? Time to really master something expertise wise, but it's funny because when I sit with clients, it's like it's a very confusing area, and it's like I'm still confused. You know what I mean? And so I don't blame my clients for being confused, but
Sure.
then able to translate that to be able to assist them has been very empowering for me. But just knowing that I'm not alone. I've had moments where I felt like I was alone, but I really break through and take the personal initiative to reach out. And whether it's turn to books, turn to groups like this, or turn to conferences and things to keep me, continuously striving towards just being better for myself and my clients.
Yeah, for real. I mean, that's huge. Taking the personal initiative, I mean, and that's probably what wound you up here on this call was personal initiative to find out what success is made up of. Is that accurate?
Yes, because about 2 years ago too, I took on reading Think and Grow Rich, and um, and I think I shared before, I read Outwitting the Devil more recently, and then I was like thinking about reading Think and Grow Rich again. But then I came across the fact that Think and Grow Rich really came from Laws of Success, and I was like, why don't I just go to the original and really study this work and take my time with it? And I was like, as I was studying, I was like, you know what? I'll get it better. And I just know myself that I feel more. I don't know if it's energy, but I guess it is. Now that I look at it, the mastermind, right? It's like I get more out of it if I engage with people instead of self-study. And so finding this group was very helpful.
Sure.
And hearing what you guys have created here and the insights you get have me get clear on insights that I'm getting in this book.
Yeah, and
That's
personally,
amazing. That's an amazing story.
yeah, very nice. It's very nice to got you, Miss. But I was thinking about what Matt just said a little bit, and what you said, Miss Ashley. After the Second World War, they got a shipbuilder. A guy got his team, and he built a lot of ship for the war, and he create a way to build ship so fast. He developed a new methodology to build ship. And just before the end of the war, one of his friend who was working with him got an idea to build houses in the same way they built ship, and they create a lot of city around the USA with that kind of creation. Imagination, personal initiative. When you got a job and you develop an idea with your mastermind friend around you, it's always possible to succeed. And sometimes the good idea come from somebody around you, and if you listen him carefully and you got confidence on what he said, you both get rich. I don't remember the name of the guy who do that suburb. This guy after the Second World War create the suburb around New York for the GI when they come back war, because they got a big crisis for place to stay. So they see that 5 years ago. They got a kind of vision to create suburb after the Second World War, and they build the houses like they build boat. They got the method. They do the same thing, and this thing go fast, and these people get rich, but they render a lot of service to people who come from war and new family, and they create new city. And it's the same with the financial service. It's the same with the plumbing. It's the same with the cleaning bathroom. It's the same for me for creating game. You never know when it's gonna come from, but you have to show up. Just show up to your job, and never said your job is boring. It's always got always something new to each day with people around you, because people are so intelligent sometimes in their way. It's just in the way they see it. You have to see it correctly. Take the time to open your mind to see what they got in head, and said, well, it's possible, yeah, maybe not, but we have to work on that. And money come, money gonna come after, but to develop a new mechanic and something already exists, got a new idea and you make profit with it, it's always possible, because we live in that kind of world. And we just have to open us mind, and the law of success teach me that, to open my mind, to put what I know in on the tablet, and bring the new stuff in. And it was very helpful for me to finish my project.
Very cool, man. Well, I know that personal initiative creates the future because, I mean, we're in a universe of action, right? And without that internal driver to push forward, we don't have that action. And the personal initiative has to push and bring forth reality, and you know, it engages the imagination, it engages your positive mental attitude. All the elements of success come together with personal initiative, knowing that you have the power to push forward and bring knowledge into your life, like financial services, is a power that most people don't embrace. They don't take that personal initiative and cause themselves to act. And oftentimes they're in a position to be acted upon. So I think that's perhaps maybe what separates us with personal initiative, is that we are in a position to act and not be acted upon.
Yeah.
So that's what I've got. Yeah, that's what I've got on you know, personal initiative for tonight. Does anybody have any final thoughts on that? And then we'll do a roundtable.
I think we're gonna make the prayer.
Oh, the prayer. You ready for the prayer already, huh?
Yeah,
All right.
because tonight we work hard. The
Yeah,
main
you guys did a good job.
main speaker was not there, but I gonna phone him before I go sleep to see what's happened with him.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well,
but Miss Ashley was
you know,
very good.
there's
She knew what she want, and I like it.
yeah, we're very pleased, Ashley, that you've joined us. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that, I guess, as a final thought around personal initiative, I think, um, us just being here, even if, we were having technical difficulties, Andre and I in the conversation and still holding the intention of discussing personal initiative. I think there was really great, I guess, just
Yeah.
recognizing for one another. And so I think that alone is a highlight of personal initiative right there, because really chose otherwise and just hung up, but we committed to sticking around and still keeping the conversation alive. And so I really want to acknowledge
That's amazing.
you for holding it down with me as we discuss this, as we this until you were able to connect back in, Matt.
And that's the
Yeah,
power of
thank you. Thank you.
that's the power of the mastermind. This thing exists when you put your mind in the mastermind with your soul, and you want to, to listen and learn something from people around you. This thing work. I learned a lot with you, gentlemen and ladies, tonight, and I'm very glad you are here.
Yeah, that's amazing. The power of the mastermind. I mean, when two or more minds come together in a spirit of harmony, there's a third mind created, and that third mind is got infinite intelligence. And the more minds that you have in that mastermind uh, will strengthen that mastermind alliance, and you'll gain more of that infinite intelligence. That's the promise that we have with the power of the mastermind. So we take it in little doses. We don't know how it comes into our lives or whether or not it's actively working in our lives. We just take it on faith that when we put forth this effort, that it will come as a matter of fact, because we believe in these principles. Nobody has harnessed these principles, these ethereal principles. Nobody's harnessed them. And I can't say we're trying to harness a chariot and ride it into the sunset, but we are trying to exercise the principle of the mastermind and allow infinite intelligence to work in our lives through that principle of the mastermind. So that's our purpose, at least what I think our purpose is here on the mastermind calls. And we study the laws of success because Napoleon Hill was the first one to actually define the mastermind principle as a core principle. So that's why we study the laws of success. So with that, O divine providence, we ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to use the riches you gave us at birth, consisting in the power and wisdom to control and direct our own mind to the ends of our own choosing. And we say that in Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Yep. It was a delightful pleasure to get you here tonight, gentlemen and ladies. It's always good to be in that mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back Tuesday, and I hope we don't got technical difficulties.
We'll get it figured out.
All
All
right,
right,
all right.
you all have a good night. We'll talk to you on Tuesday.
All right. Thank you,
Uh,
everyone.
Thanks for coming to the call, guys.
yeah, take
All
care.
right. Bye-bye.
Fun. And
Yeah,
never
bye-bye.
give. Ciao, my man.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye.
Yep. Kite, kite.